Hello, friends, and welcome back to Real Talks. I'm your host, David Steele. Today is our fourth and final part of our conversation with Ben about one of the greatest games of all time, and that is The Last of Us Part 2. Guys, if you like this episode or any of the other episodes here on the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. It's the only way that I know you're enjoying the content. And guys, leave me a comment down in the comments section. Are you excited for the show? What did you like about The Last of Us Part 2? Would you like to see The Last of Us Part 3? Okay, guys, without any further ado, let's get to today's episode.
Just when you think she may have said, you know what, I can't do it, she goes after her again. It's an onion, and it just keeps the layers.
Just when I thought I was
going back.
It pulled me back in.
And it just is amazing. And by the way, Owen, we're talking about all these people. Owen, there was a rumor that the reason why he didn't go back to the WLF is because he shot one of the WLF members because he was killing a scar. And it was an old man. And he's like, and this is the conversation that Abby and Owen have in the boat. He's like, I'm done. I watched him kill this guy. I can't. I'm tired of fighting, Abby. I'm tired of fighting. I'm done. And just come with me to Santa Barbara. And of course, by this time, Mel's like, and this is the shot in the aquarium. If you go to Santa Barbara, I'm not going. And it's space.
Well, this is before, and it has one of my favorite ever cuts.
Yeah,
I want to talk about this
it.
briefly because it's just too funny. But it's also very real. That moment when they're talking, and she's like, no, we got to keep fighting. And he's like, oh, so it's only okay to quit something once you've killed them and they're helpless. And, like, shooting at her about Joel because it's very clear that at least Owen and Mel aren't happy with how Jackson went. And then she gets shot, and the tension in the room's on a thin ice. You've now played also the flashbacks of her and Owen when they were dating, because Abby and Owen were a couple until she couldn't get over Joel still being alive. And it's one of those other parallels between Abby and Ellie. They both hold on to this revenge, this justice, this need, this hunger, this emptiness, so long that they push away all other relationships in their life. And it cuts to them basically stripping each other and screwing each other in the boat. Despite the fact that
a lot of people are like, okay. Okay. But yeah.
My favorite thing is the people, if you play it with anyone else, it comes almost out of left field. Like, it's very human and you understand it, but also it's the most uncomfortable thing. And the sound mixing is...
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you.
Best cut in the game. If you ever want to traumatize someone, have them play the game. And then,
hey, watch this.
Maybe this game's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just watch this. And then that's it. They're toast.
Okay. And that's going to lead to the final point here. And you just brought it up. And it's Abby, it's revenge, and it's forgiveness. And it's not only Abby, but it's Ellie. So once we leave the farm, and Ellie, so that cutscene, so they're going after 24-25 Constant. And you see Ellie trying to track Abby. And she's maybe, I don't know, 8-10 hours, whatever. I mean, there's no time given, but she's hot on her trail, let's say. And so...
Well, it's not, though. That's the thing. You think she's hot on her trail.
Yeah.
But there's a scene later that
tells you... Exactly. So
it's been
what ends up happening...
It's been a long time, but it feels like it's very quick, because you just played as Abby, going and looking for this house where there's supposed to be fireflies, and she gets caught.
And that is...
And it's like... And it's out of nowhere. And also, I want to say something real quick because I feel like it might go unnoticed. My favorite part of the game is when you first appear and there's a sign that says Rattlers here, and then you hear the clickers. You're like, oh, of course that's what these people would call clickers. There's not a universal naming convention. It makes sense, right? Clickers clearly became a thing with the fireflies. You internally realize this. And then Rattlers
Yeah.
actually fucking show up, and you're like, oh, fuck, the signs were here,
Here's
and
the
I
thing.
missed it.
The parallel. The parallel when Abby gets taken down and Lev gets brushed off to the side. And so, whether you think he's dead or not, and what does she say? Get the fuck off of him. And you're right. I mean, you want to talk about an immediate callback to Joel and Ellie. The parallels in this game are so incredibly amazing, and you have to walk through all of these things. So Abby gets captured by the Rattlers. We don't know if she's dead or alive. In comes, and this is one of the best
You have to
cutscenes.
walk into it.
Yeah,
As
to
Ellie.
your point, one of the best cutscenes in the game. So we see Ellie, she gets strung up. She gets caught in a trap. Then you see that. I had to turn my head. Oh, right in the side. And you think, okay, this is going to hurt. And it did. And so the Rattlers come in and cut her down. And then something, she starts laughing. And there was a quick dialogue between the two guys, and she starts laughing. And he says, "What's so funny?" And he says, "It looks like you shit your pants." Oh, because he gets nearly scratched by the other clicker, the infected. And so she's like, he says, "What's so funny?" He's like,
Something funny?
Looks like you shit your pants.
Fuck you say?
Oh, little bitch.
Oh, you like funny, huh? Get up.
Come on.
Get up.
We don't need
No,
this.
man, she's fucked up anyway, man. Come on. Yeah, it's funny, right? It's funny.
Serious?
Come on. Laugh.
Wait. You said Abby. You're looking for an Abby, right? We picked one up a couple months ago.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, no, big girl. Blonde. Arms like mine. She had a scrawny kid with cuts by his mouth. Yeah, that's her. You let me go. I'll tell you where she is. You can get to her before that infection takes over.
Talk.
She's in a holding cell at our camp.
Where's that?
Head that way till you hit the railroad track. That'll lead you to a resort. We keep them in the tall, round building. I swear.
and so now we're past 24. We're past this. Now we have to go to this other area where it looks like it's slave labor. And now these rattlers are entrapping these people, the slaves. And we have to fight through all of these people. And one of the best parts of it was when you get to release the clickers and the infected on the rattlers. And so
Yeah.
it's just amazing. You fight all the way through. You go in the rotunda, you're fighting and you're getting all these supplies, and eventually you get to the prisoners. The prisoners are free. They say, well, where's Abby? She's down by the beach on the pillars. You can't miss her.
By the pillars.
Benjamin, walk us through that scene. The last 5-10 minutes of this game.
Okay.
It's one of the most epic things.
Well, I want
Go
to...
for it. Okay.
I'll get there. Let me adjust one other thing first. Ho, 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 I have a submachine gun. That had to be the most awesome part of that last section, because for the longest time I was like, wait, did I miss a weapon pickup? I didn't get all weapons achievements. I thought I was being slick. And you get this silenced machine gun right as you go into the hardest enemy gauntlet. And you can try and release the clickers. I think if you're good, you can shoot them free. I definitely didn't try it because I'm terrible. I was like, no, I'm just going to stealth kill all of them. Go Solid Snake on their asses. But it's so fun. It's so frenetic. And you get to them, and Ellie's not even like, I'm going to free you. She's like, where's Abby? She wants Abby first. And they're like, she's not here. And they're like, can you free us? And she's like, okay, fine, whatever. And so you end up leaving to go to get to Abby as a complete riot's out. Because all these prisoners have access to the guns. The rotunda's going up in flames. And you get down to the beach expecting, like, big boss fight time. And you see Abby, who up to this game has had beautiful hair, like tied back in a nice long braid, right? And just built like an ox, absolutely like champion. And her head has been shaved, hair has been cut, strung up. You can see Lev's not doing right either. And it just doesn't fall on you to fight her anymore. There's another game. I've brought up Dark Souls a few times, but Dark Souls 2 has the Vendrick reveal, where you come to the boss that you've been building up to the entire time, and he's just lumbering around. He's not even alive. He doesn't attack you. He just walks. And it's the same feeling washes over you as you realize that Abby isn't a monster to the same extent. And once again, Ellie is saving Abby's life on this quest for revenge. And you cut her down, and then Abby goes and gets to Lev, and she's like, there's boats this way, we can leave. Like, just this massive weight's been lifted off her as she's free. And you go out with Ellie, who, is bleeding out because the stitches she put on herself earlier to help her, survive the tree wound have been progressively getting damaged throughout this entire time. And you get to the boats, and Lev's been put inside, who's, like, dying because of starvation and malnourishment, by the way, as a kid. And Ellie's like, I can't let you leave. Because her desire for vengeance is just too great.
I can't let you leave. I'm not doing this. No. I'm not gonna fight you. Yes, you will. He's not a part of this. You made him a part of this.
And you go into this sluggish, brutal fight that, in many ways, some may say is like Uncharted 4. You fight someone melee, it's the final boss time. But in this way, it just fits more with the controls of the game you've already learned. It takes everything that game's ending did and ramps it up to 11. The punches are wet. They sound as crispy as as sloppy as the punches in Fight Club. It hurts. When Ellie gets punched, you feel it. When Abby gets hit, by this point, by the way, I won't blame you if you still hate Abby for what she did in the first 10 minutes of the game. But at this point, I didn't want either of them to die. I didn't think anything good would happen. I'd looked at the achievements list. It says, dig 2 graves. I expected them to both drown to death at this point. And I was like, right, they're both gonna fucking die.
And that scene
just crushed my heart.
Yeah.
And then you have when Ellie is firmly won. She's drowning Abby, and Abby bites her fingers, which, by the way, fingers are a no-no for me. Like, when Frodo loses his finger in Return of the King, I hurt. When John Wick has to cut off a finger, just, ouch, no thanks. Never mind losing 2 in a game that's made you play the guitar a lot. And you get to that last scene when Ellie's drowning Abby and she gets flashes of Joel. And it's not the Joel we've seen him dying. It's the Joel...
once he's beaten.
On a patio.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
well, he's not
Yeah.
yet, but he's on a patio playing a guitar. And you're like, wait a minute, I haven't seen this one yet. And Ellie falls backwards, just completely giving up, and is like, you can go. And you're like, wait, what? And you have to walk through and watch this scene of Joel and Ellie. And this is the night that Joel beat up someone because Ellie got kissed by Dina. And Ellie's like, I don't want you to do this. They've already... For those who don't know, this game paces so brilliantly the flashbacks to Ellie in the last 4 years, where by the time we get to the modern present day, she knows that she was going to be committed surgery on, and that Joel killed all of them and slaughtered the Fireflies entirely and completely lied to her for years. She knows all of this,
Yeah.
and she doesn't want anything
And
to do with it.
so...
She's gone back to the Fireflies and listened to an audio recording left by Abby talking about how hopeless everything is because their only hope at a cure is lost. Not because Ellie's gone, but because Jerry's dead. Because he's the only one who could perform the surgery. And Ellie wants nothing to do with Joel. And so she comes to this park bench and she starts talking to him. And they end up talking about that night. And Joel is like, if somehow God gave me a second chance to do it all over again, I would have done everything the exact same. Even though Ellie's like, my life would have had fucking meaning if I would have died. In many ways, this game touches on a lot of grief and depression and self-esteem that I think it's 100% intentional, where you are playing someone who doesn't view their life with meaning, unless they can be of service to someone else. And it's magical that it can touch on this as a sub-theme and be so rich. Because you know Joel is seeing her not just as a life with meaning, but as a life, as the meaning to life for him at this stage. And she says these words, I don't think I can ever forgive you for what you did, but I'd like to try. And your heart cracks as you realize that this is the day before Joel dies. And this is the last interaction she has with him, as he's sipping his coffee on his little bench. And it comes back to you, this idea that he's gone no matter what Ellie does. And that Joel, as much as he got hurt unfairly by Abby, he wouldn't want her just to be killed ruthlessly by Ellie. This idea that there's so much forgiveness and this richness of what does it mean to forgive someone and to work through that, and not just to punch you back, not just to beat you into submission, but to let you grow as a person and try to work through your differences. I don't think any other game has challenged me as much with this as The Last of Us Part 2.
And
it's special.
it just... And there was that scene there about what you were talking about when they're at the pillars. Basically she says, I don't want to fight you. And she walks over to Lev, just like she did to Dina. And she's like, you made this, and you're going to do this. And
fuck yeah.
she says, I don't want to fight you. And she's like, you made this. He's not part of this.
Sorry,
Yeah.
clarity, because she has
Yeah.
been used in two
And-
different contexts. Abby doesn't want to
Yeah,
fight
and
Ellie at the docks.
basically,
and
he
Ellie
says-
goes up to Lev and
Slits
threatens
her
to
throat,
slay.
and she says, you made it part of this. Okay, fine. And that's when they chew. The two go at it. And just the whole, after the fight, when she says go, basically she says, I don't want to ever see you again. I mean, she doesn't use those words, but it's more of, I don't want to ever see you again. And she's just sitting there, Ellie is, Indian style, and it's just totally gray. And that could be, I mean, we're reading deeper into this, but the ambiguity of what she wanted to do. And to your point about that last scene, and by the way, let's go back to the farm. Dina had said, listen, if you go, I'm going to leave. That last cutscene, the first thing you see It's not Ellie. It's not the house. You see her 2 missing fingers. And she walks up to the house. And she walks in. And everything's gone. And she goes upstairs. And she's looking at the records because, don't forget, that's the record that she was playing when she was, and she takes out the guitar. And she's trying to, what you were talking about, losing fingers. Now, I've never played the guitar. I'm not musically inclined, but you can't play the guitar that well with 2 missing fingers. And at that point, she places it down by the windowsill and walks out. And the last shot of the game is that you see her in the distance, and that guitar is sitting there against the window. Mind you, let's talk about coming full circle. What's the first shot that you see? One of the first shots of the game you see? Joel shining up the guitar. This game, it's
a game about letting go.
So many things.
And
it's about revenge. It's about forgiveness. It's about survival. It's about what you're willing to do for a person. It's about how you do it. What kind of person are you?
And that's going to do it for this episode. Stay tuned in the coming days and weeks for more about The Last of Us. And don't forget, guys, every single Sunday after each episode, Kyle, myself, Tyler, and a special guest will be live streaming our thoughts and opinions on it. And guys, if you like this video or any of the other videos, hit that like and subscribe button. It's the only way that I know you're enjoying the content. And guys, leave me a comment down in the comment section. Did you like The Last of Us 2? What didn't you like about The Last of Us 2? Would you like to see The Last of Us Part 3? Okay, guys, do the 3 things we need to do. Be safe, be careful, and have a great day. I'm David Steele, and you have been watching Real Talks.